Welcome, everybody. This week, we're changing our title from the offensive to celebrate the commissioner screwing over the Chicago Bears out of the third-round compensatory pick. We're switching from the offensive to barely full frontal. Thank you very much.
Barely full frontal. No innuendos. Oops, I hit my microphone because it's just so terrible. But yeah, barely full frontal. I like it, Dave. All right, and we're going to do now, guys, a Bears mock draft, all 7 rounds. Dave's obviously going to run the show here, but me and Doug will try to ruin it for him if possible.
We'll sabotage him.
Let's jump into it. We're going to take the Bears, all 7 rounds, enter the draft, and here we go. Okay, on to pick 25, Dave. What positions do you want me to pull up here?
Only pull up all the quarterbacks from Penn State.
Got it.
Yes, we need some Drew Aller action right there.
Can you draft Drew Aller 3 times is what I want to know.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, we know you guys need defensive interior linemen, right? You need edge rushers. Yep. And do you want linebackers still, or maybe offensive linemen?
I think that we've kind of solidified our linebackers, so that's no longer a place of need right now.
Okay.
And for this one, I've looked at mocks lots of different ways. You know, there's a lot of really great safeties out there that are exciting. And I also previously I said, you know, we need to get a left tackle. There's no guarantee. We made a lot of moves when he got Jedrick Willis, I believe it was, the former first-round pick from the Browns from like 5 years ago. We're hoping that he works. We have like 6 guys out there to try out at left tackle. But I think this just has to be the year. We haven't drafted an edge since Shea McClellan in 2002 off of Smurf turf, which that was a nightmare. So here, I really think we want to look at this is the year that we're finally going to draft an edge rusher.
Okay.
And when I look at the guys that are out there, you know, if our defensive corner, he really likes getting those big body guys.
He does.
And I really like Zion Young just because of his size.
He's a big boy. Yep. He's 6'5",
262. Yep. He's strong against the run, which really helps to solidify that.
Yep.
He can develop his pass rush moves and whatnot. I think right now at this point, it's just don't think about it too much. Don't try to get a pass rusher, you know, later in the second round. Just address that right now.
32 hurries is no joke. Like, that's a lot. Like, he definitely needs to work on finishing, but 32 hurries is pretty good. 17 hits, 8 sacks on 326 pass rush snaps. That's pretty decent production, you know. And, you know, even though his pass rush grade's 82, his run defense is graded 86. I mean, there's really not a hole in his game. And he's a big guy, right? So I think he fits great. I like it. And I've seen a lot of mocks take him here as well. I could definitely see it happening. So Zion Young to the Bears. And now we're going to go to the end of round 2, where the Bears got 2 picks because the Bills are idiots. So what do you think you're going to go for here, Dave?
Oh, man, I am so sick this week of hearing everyone trying to say who's going to be your gem of the draft for fantasy and all the other stuff. And a lot of people, and I mean a lot of different platforms that I really respect, are saying Chris Brazzell. They're falling for the Tennessee wide receiver again.
Don't do it, folks. Don't draft Tennessee wide receivers. We all know that.
Yeah, the Bears tried that. Didn't work out too well with Velus Jones, the athlete, and everything else. Yep. And it's gotten to the point where I try to watch a lot of highlights of everything else. I try to watch film that I can. I didn't watch a single clip of Brazzell Jr. I know he's a darling for everyone, but ain't no way in hell. So now is when I start to look at
you want to look at
a little bit early for the centers. I think that we can get something a little bit later given the depth of this class.
Yeah,
I definitely want to get one. I would look to see for offensive tackle as well.
So let's do D-line, offensive tackle. So you've got a couple. Oops, I still did interior offensive line. Sorry, offensive tackle. There we go. Get rid of interior. Okay, so you got Tiernan, a bunch of D tackles, Dave. Some big ones in there. Mark Bell, Demetrius Crownover. I don't know. This guy kind of screams Bears to me because he had a really bad season, but he's actually not bad. His pass grade is really bad, but he's actually a monster at 6'7", 336. He's a big kid. He needs a lot of work.
And he's almost 25.
Yeah, and he allowed.
If I'm going to draft somebody who's almost 25, I want somebody who can start right now. I don't want to try to get a developmental player.
I agree with that.
Kind of when you get to be the end of the second round. I think you're starting to look at a little bit of a little bit of development, and that's just a no to me at that
So
point.
have you guys looked at this great Grayson Halton guy? He's more of a pass rush guy, 6'2", 292, undersized but versatile. He wins with quickness, effort, movement skills. Lack of strength is an issue, but he's got a pass rush grade of 76.9, win rate of 10.4, which for a D tackle is pretty good. 5 sacks, 3 hits, 22 hurries, so not bad. He plays mostly in the B gap, but he can play on the outside a little bit. I don't know. Dennis Allen, though, kind of likes the bigger guys, Dave. What do you think for interior defensive linemen if you guys were going to go that here? Because you got a pick in a couple, you got a pick coming up right after this. Do you think?
Right. The thing I like about you pointing out Grayson Halton is he's a traditional 3 technique. D tackle out of Oklahoma. The last time that we drafted one of those, it was Tommy Harris. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that he is Tommy Harris, but given his size and whatnot, I think he can be disruptive as an upfield penetrator. And I think that he is something that, because right now we have big bodies, but they're not able to move. They're not able to put pressure in the pocket and whatnot. So right now, if we want to improve that defense, if we got the edge rush, now we get the D tackle, and then we can start to address the safeties, I think, later on.
So do you think, what about Caleb Tiernan? Do you think they take a chance on him? He's 23, 6'7", 325. He's decent on the outside. I mean, he kind of seems like a bit of a project, like you were saying that you could get here, but at tackle, you don't want a project right now, right? You want a guy who's going to play right now.
Right, because right now we already have 2 tackles already on our roster for tackle.
Right.
And between the Canadian Eagle and then, oh my Lord, I'm drawing a blank on his name. Our 3rd round draft pick out of the Ivy League from 2 years ago.
Oh, right.
I forgot about him. Yeah, Kyron Amagaji, where he already had a busted leg and he is a developmental prospect. Oh, but he's smart. I'm like, this is the NFL. Smart doesn't help if you're too slow. So yeah, we have enough projects. I just want to get Grayson Halton. He can be disruptive in a couple of packages, and he's going to help us to win a game or two.
All right. So you got edge and the line right now, interior defense, 2 guys, 2 pass rush guys, which is your biggest need by far.
Yep.
Right. So now I think it's a good time to look at safety. I think it's actually a good time to look at wide receiver for you too, Dave. I think you guys need another wide receiver really bad. Now, we've all agreed that Chris Brazzell is the best pick for the Bears ever because he's the Tennessee wide receiver. But Skylar Bell's moving up boards. He's a smaller guy, 6'0", 185. Do you know who his comp is? Do you know who he kind of reminds me of? DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
I've heard that quite a bit.
And so, like, you just traded DJ Moore for a second. You could get a younger guy. He also can do kick returns, from what I understand. I know you got that, but that never hurts. His grade versus man coverage is 81. He's a man beater, dude. Like, those in the Ben Johnson offense kind of feel like things you guys might lean towards.
Yeah, you need your St. Brown. You need your.
I think so, because I mean, as good as your other receivers are, Luther Burton's a bit of a man beater too. So he's more of a slot guy, but this is just another option. So I'm just saying that's a possibility. I also think Elijah Surratt is a possibility for you guys too. 6'2", 213. He's 37 years old. Just kidding. He's 23. But he's an X receiver, so he could be the opposite of Burton, right? He's got really good hands. He was really good this year in the playoffs as well. Not in the Miami game, but against the Ducks, he was really good.
The first half of the season, he was all a hotness.
Yeah, he
Everyone
was.
that was watching Indiana, they're out talking about him and not his teammate. And then he kind of got to be the forgotten man at the end.
He did a little bit, but dude, 15 touchdowns. Like,
he had the most targets on the team.
Yeah, 15 touchdowns. Grade versus man coverage is 89.4. His drop rate's a little high at 4.5, I think, which is maybe why he dropped a little bit. But I mean, he's a solid wide receiver, and I think getting him in the second round is a pretty good value for what he would bring to the team. So those are just 2 guys that kind of stood out to me. But what are you thinking, Dave? Do you think wide receiver is the go-to here, or do you think safety is the go-to? Because there's a few more safeties, but they're kind of a little farther back. I mean, Kamari Ramsey, I think, is going to be really good. But do you guys think you'd take him this early?
No, that's where, yeah, this is again where, well, that's a hell of, because I think Dan Brugler had like 14 wide receivers listed in his top 100. Mm-hmm. So you can get some wide receivers, but there's also some strong safeties out there. We definitely need to get another wide receiver right now because we're pretty shallow there, even though we traded away DJ Moore. But I think I try to find a wide receiver a little bit later on.
Okay.
Right now, it's just because we have two legit starting wide receivers, we only have one safety right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So
That's true.
that's where I think we got to, even if you think it's a reach, maybe we listen to some trade partners. What? Oh, there's no trades available because
Nope. And see, I know you like Bud Clark, and he's down there. You could get him later. 6'2",
oh yeah,
190, explosive playmaker. He's got a pretty high missed tackle rate, unfortunately, but his run defensive grade's really good. His coverage grade's pretty good for a safety as well.
yeah, he could be the tone setter.
Yeah, he's kind of a bruiser back there. Now he's all the way down at 117 though. Like you're not going to take him here. Genesis Smith as well at 98, Kamari Ramsey at 82. And what's your next pick, Dave? What I think what do you guys
89
pick?
and 129.
So you'd have to get a safety probably at 89 or
Right.
now. So I get it.
Yeah, so I think we could get Bud Clark or Ramsey the next time. So here, oh, well, we also have to consider one of the center. We might be able to get that at 129. So I would say at this point,
Sam Hecht is there. I know he's at 84,
right?
but he's a pretty good player. 6'4", 300, 80 overall PFF grade, 0 sacks, 0 hits. I mean, centers don't really allow those too much, but 2 years as a starter for Kansas State, 7 hurries allowed. I mean, his pass block grade and run block grade are both solid. He's a solid player. Maybe after a year or two behind, the guy
Bradbury.
you got from yeah.
We got Bradbury just to be the gap, and I think that
I like Sam Hecht, but I definitely think he needs to sit for a year at least before he starts, and that might work out for you guys, right? So,
and this gets to be where we, like we said, we have to look at the calculus between now and the next term. We can either get a center or a safety at the next turn, and then all of these guys should be gone by the 129.
Yep.
So that's why I don't really mind, saying, okay, I think this is going to be the guy. I have no problem going with Sam Hecht right here, and then we'll get a safety a little bit later on, just because Ben Johnson is committed to that run game. He's committed to that offensive line. That was his priority one when he came into town.
Yeah, it was. Yep. Okay. I like it. So now we definitely need to go safety. Genesis Smith is there. He's a good safety. Bud Clark is still there. Yeah, you got some options. You definitely got some options. So Genesis Smith, really good coverage grade. Run defense, not so much, right? So he's more of a coverage guy. He had 58 tackles, though, 15 assisted tackles, 18 missed tackles. So, tackling's a bit of a problem.
He has a lot of missed tackles.
6'2", 204, intriguing size, athletics traits for a single high role. So he's like a true single high safety, right?
Yep.
Now, in Dennis Allen's defense, does he play true single high safety, or does he play doesn't he kind of bring them up to the line at times? What do you think about that, Dave?
I think that he does. Well, I think that the other safety that we had signed, I think he can play that role for us. And Genesis,
he's definitely more.
Yeah, he can be the guy to play in the back. And you got to remember, our DB's coach is all world, so he'll be able to develop whatever.
Right, because he was the Green Bay Packer, Al Harris.
We have, Hall of Famer. If he isn't already, he should be Al Harris. And just look at what he did with Nishan Wright and everyone else. So why not take a Genesis Smith? Whatever shortcomings he has, Al Harris will coach him up. I think this sounds like a fantastic spot for him. This way we have a young, hopefully strong to develop secondary.
So you want to go Genesis on this one?
I do.
All right.
I support this also because he'll miss lots of tackles versus Josh Jacobs.
I mean, Al Harris,
Collins forever, baby.
The king of swag. Al Harris will get him working right, though. I'm sure that's the thing. All right, so you still might need a wide receiver, maybe a backup. No, you got Komet, but you guys like drafting tight ends. We could throw it out there. I also think offensive line is still a possibility, and as well as linebacker. I know you signed some guys, but you got to be open. Bocher, again, I talked about him. I liked him for the Packers. I don't think McAllister fits with the Ben Johnson offense. He's a bigger guy. His receiving grade's good, but I don't know. He's got a lot of targets at TCU. He was a really good player, but I just don't see him in the Ben Johnson offense. He's not as explosive as I'd like. I think Jacoby Lane might fit in the Ben Johnson offense. 6'4", 200.
Yeah, that's the one that I was going to look at.
He's a big X receiver. Yeah, he's got a much lower drop rate, better yards per route run,
But do
And
you
yeah,
think he's kind of a duplicate of Rome, though? Or do you think that this would be where you kind of put Rome
well,
into
he'd be on the other side.
a bit of a power slot?
And when you're that big and you got long arms, you can run block too, right? So like if you have him on the outside, Burton's your slot guy, right? I mean,
Right.
if you want to run the ball to the outside with your running backs, which you guys do really well, having big long receivers helps a lot. So I think that's a possibility in the Ben Johnson offense. I think Jacoby Lane.
No, yeah, he was one of the first ones that caught my eye when you first brought up the screen. So I like Jacoby Lane.
All right, we're going Jacoby Lane out of USC to the Bears. And where was that compensatory pick? Oh, right, you didn't get one. So we're going to go ahead and move on. And now you're going way, way, way down to 239 after that. So this is just kind of that's. Oh, dude, Riley Nowakowski,
30.
Bears. You guys should probably take 3 straight tight ends here. I feel like. No, but I think you guys still need potentially another interior or another interior offensive lineman or interior defensive lineman. And there's a couple dudes that maybe could work for you. Again, Connor Tolleson, dude, I think is a good player. You just drafted a center, but it would be crazy for you to draft a second. You're probably not going to do that. You're probably not going to do that.
We could maybe go for a guard, but
yeah.
That's where I don't really have a problem. Georgia has success with offensive linemen, and so does Ohio State.
Georgia offensive linemen tend to be pretty good.
Yeah, 6'4", 330 for a guard. That's a big body. That can be a decent mover. I like that.
Okay, and then you got to pick right after that. And what do you think?
Another Michigan tight end?
Hey, did you go to Michigan?
Did you go to Michigan, Dave?
It worked out pretty well for us last time, even though really cheesed me off. But.
So okay, there's this guy from A&M though, Onyedim. I forget, I cannot say his name, but he's another small, quick guy, 6'3", 295. So he's not really undersized. Decent pass rush grade, pretty good run defensive grade. 12 hurries last year. He played mostly in the B gap, a little bit in the A gap, over tackle, a teeny bit. Kind of a versatile defensive guy.
Is Jordan Llewellyn there? Luallen. The Athletic just ran an article about him.
LLA.
Oh no, LUA.
Oh,
LLEN.
No, he's gone. I'll look up Jordan just to be sure. Yeah, he's gone.
Oh no, just because that was a guy who was he was 245-pound edge rusher who had jumped 41 jumbo wide receiver. Let's see. He was just setting all sorts of records, and he wasn't really from the States.
Yeah. You know who else I like is this Keyshawn James newbie guy. Look at his pass rush grade, 92%. Now it's against lower competition, to be sure. But
Colorado State, what are you talking about? That's
6'2", 244. He's a bit of a smaller guy, Dave. So he's maybe more.
Yeah, it doesn't quite fit our scheme.
Fair enough. I think he's a pretty decent guy. Patrick Payton is a little bit bigger, 6'6", 255.
A little bit older.
Yeah, he's kind of okay at everything. This is the SEC.
Yeah.
But he only really had good games against bad teams, if I'm being honest. So, who else was I looking at for edge? Oh, yeah, the Tulane guy, Mo Westmoreland. So, pass rush grade 88, 2.8, not bad. 4 sacks, 3 hurries. He's 6'2", 250. So, he's like kind of in the middle, is a little bit smaller, but he's got potential. He's way down there, though. Like, he'll probably not even get drafted. So,
well, at this point, just because it's the last pick, this is where I just go for a safety just for special teams. That's what Levy used to do back in the day, and we had solid.
All right. Well, let's see.
Husky sounds like a man's man right there.
Jalen Husky. There you go.
I like my women nice and husky.
I mean, it's a 7th round. If you're going to draft on vibes, that's the round.
That's
so might as well, right? I mean, that's why they got Purdy just on vibes, and it was like, oh, you're our starting quarterback now. Okay, so let's see how we did. Terrible. We did awful.
Absolutely. Yeah, they don't like getting a center that early, but again, it's one of those where you just got to look to see what do you think is going to be available later. We know that the best safeties and the best centers where they're located.
Right.
Weren't going to get something down at 129. So
I mean, PFF rewards you for drafting guys like where they say they should go. If you draft them too early, they give you a bump. But I don't really believe in that too much. Like if you're in the realm of like 20-ish picks of the guy, you're doing fine. Like especially when you get to the 3rd and 4th round, like you're doing fine. I like this draft for you, Dave. I like that you get 2 defensive linemen to start. I think that is by far what you guys need to focus on more than anything else is defensive line, interior and exterior, or edge rusher. You get your center that you can work on for a while. You get a safety that I think is going to be talented in the NFL. He does need to learn to tackle, but like he's very, very good at coverage, which I think is good for you guys. And yeah, Jacoby Lane in the 4th round is, I think, a good deal. I think that's a good deal. I think he's a pretty good wide receiver, or could be a pretty good wide receiver. So I'll give you a B on this grade. Hype, what do you think about this Bears grade? F or F plus? What do you give Dave?
I mean, from my perspective, it's great because he got a safety that can't tackle. He got he got wide receivers from USC. They're never good anyways. So
that is
yeah,
not
I think
true
this
at all.
works out
That
for
is
great
not
for
true
me.
at all. There's a lot of good USC wide receivers. There's like 5 I can think of off the top of my head right now.
Never
Including
happens.
your boy
Fine.
Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I was going to say your son got
Yeah.
on your roster.
Yeah, anyone remember Keyshawn Johnson? He was pretty good too. So there's a couple, dude. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Keyshawn Johnson is fantastic. He's a fantastic commentator also. Yeah. It's pretty good. Like it does feel like holes that they need. Having a safety that can cover pretty well is actually like probably helpful because you can drop him down, have him cover a receiver if you need to move him around and do stuff. The Bears' weakness last year was the defense, but especially crossing routes, and guys in the secondary couldn't really keep up with speedy receivers. So it does address some of their problems, but also the one thing I would love to have is a Bears defense that can't tackle. So good job.
Yeah.
Well, that's where if I could go back, maybe I would have looked at cornerback too, just so we can get some depth right there. Because
Yeah, that's possible. No, I think Hecht there is a bit of a stretch, but I think for you guys it's a good investment long term, because if offensive line is your jam, you just lost one of the best centers in the league.
Yeah.
It's really hard to replace them. It just is. There's just not that many good centers in the league. So
that's a hell of the best centers in the league. Both the one that we lost and the one that just got a bag from the Raiders are both 4th round draft picks.
Exactly.
And so that's where I'd see the Bears,
maybe waiting to 129
right
or trading down. Actually, yeah, that's a possibility. Trading down or waiting to 129, or even in round 3 potentially going center. But I think Hecht's not a bad pull for you guys. I mean, his big board was 84. You got him at 60. Yeah, so I think this is a decent grade, but yeah, hopefully the Bears don't get any pass rush. That's what I'm hoping for. So I definitely wouldn't like it if they got 2 good pass rushers in the top 60. That's definitely
PFF says it's in the bottom 13% of Bear drafts, so you're doing good, Dave.
Yeah, you're doing really good. It means you're not doing what everybody else does. So good for you. All right, so that's our barely full frontal draft of the Chicago Bears. Hopefully we get one of them right, or Dave gets one of them right.
Ain't none of them going to be right.
Probably not. Dude, I'm telling you, our wheel of chaos where we were like drafting Mendoza like 24th overall is still going to be more accurate than anything that we do.
Oh, God.
Because that's how it works. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Again, we are the Offensive Show for now until we change our name to PFF. We just have to figure out if we can legally do it. Probably not. So have a good night, everybody.